Welcome to Hannah's modern-day parables, based off the scripture. To obey is better than sacrifice. 1 Samuel 15:22. The gift she didn't ask for, a modern-day parable. Chapter 1. Emily loved her son, Joshua. He was bright, creative, and full of personality. But there was one thing that often frustrated her. Joshua always wanted to do things his way. One Saturday morning, Emily stood at the bottom of the stairs and called up to his room. "Joshua." "Yeah, Mum?" he shouted back. "Before your friends come over, please clean your room." "Okay," he replied. Emily smiled. Simple enough, she thought. An hour passed, then another. Finally, Emily walked upstairs to check on his progress. She opened his bedroom door and stopped. The room looked as though a tornado had passed through it. Clothes were scattered across the floor. Empty snack wrappers covered the desk. Books were piled on the bed. Nothing had changed. Not one thing. Before she could say anything, Joshua came racing up the stairs carrying a beautiful bouquet of flowers. "Surprise," he said proudly. Emily looked at the flowers. They were stunning. Bright colors, fresh petals, beautifully arranged. "They're lovely," she said. Joshua grinned. "I bought them for you." "Thank you. I knew you'd like them." Emily smiled but glanced back into the chaotic bedroom. "Joshua, you didn't clean your room." His smile faded. "No, but look at the flowers. They're beautiful. I spent my own money on them." "I appreciate that." Joshua frowned. "Then why do you seem disappointed?" Emily gently placed the bouquet on a nearby table. "Because I didn't ask for flowers." Joshua looked confused. "What do you mean?" "I asked you to clean your room, but I bought you something nice." Emily nodded. "You did, so shouldn't that count for something?" Emily sat beside him. "Joshua, imagine your teacher gives you homework." "Okay, but instead of doing it, you buy her a box of chocolates." Joshua laughed. "That wouldn't work." "Why not?" "Because she wanted the homework." Emily smiled. "Exactly." Joshua sat quietly. For the first time, he began to understand. The flowers weren't the issue. The room was. The gift wasn't the problem. His disobedience was. The flowers had become his attempt to replace what had been asked of him. Welcome to Chapter 2 of The Gift She Never Asked For. The following Sunday, Joshua sat beside his mother in church. The pastor was preaching from the book of 1 Samuel. He spoke about King Saul, how God had given Saul a clear instruction, how Saul obeyed part of it but ignored the rest, how he spared things God had told him to destroy. And when confronted, Saul defended himself. The pastor explained how Saul tried to justify his disobedience by claiming he intended to offer sacrifices to God. Then he read the words of the prophet Samuel. "Does the Lord delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, as much as in obeying the Lord? To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams." Joshua suddenly thought about the flowers, the bouquet, his room, his mother's disappointment, and something clicked. He realized people often do the same thing with God. Some attend church faithfully but refuse to forgive. Some give generously but ignore God's direction. Some pray publicly while continuing in private disobedience. Some serve in ministry while neglecting the very things God has asked them to do. They offer God gifts, but ignore His instructions. The pastor continued. God is not looking for ways to accept our excuses. He is looking for hearts that trust Him enough to obey Him. Joshua lowered his head. For the first time, he realized obedience wasn't simply about following rules. It was about trust. It was about believing that the person giving the instruction knows what is best. It was about love. The next day, Emily came home from work. As she walked upstairs, she noticed something unusual. The hallway was tidy. The door to Joshua's room was closed. Curious, she opened it. Everything was spotless. The floor was clean. The bed was neatly made. The desk was organized. The rubbish had been removed. The room looked completely different. Then she noticed something resting neatly on his pillow. A handwritten note. She picked it up and began reading it. "Mum, I'm sorry for buying you the flowers but not cleaning my room. I finally understand. Thank you for teaching me about obedience. Love, Joshua. Emily smiled. This time, she wasn't impressed by a gift. She was proud of his heart, because Joshua had finally learned something far more valuable than cleaning his room. He had learned that true love is demonstrated through obedience, and that no gift can replace doing what is right.